Hello and welcome to Port of Oakland Update. My name is Marilyn Sandiford. We hope that you and your loved ones are making it through okay in this difficult time. One of the vital roles, especially during the pandemic, that the Port of Oakland plays is keeping goods moving through the seaport. It supports the economy and thousands of related goods movement jobs. Today, joining us, we have our new Maritime Director at the Port of Oakland, Bryan Brandes. Welcome, Bryan. How are you doing?
Thank you, Marilyn. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Before we get into Port of Oakland specifics, can you tell us a little bit about your maritime background?
I've spent the last 25 years working primarily in the private sector for some of the largest ocean carriers and container operators in the world. I started with Sealand and have worked for APM Terminals, Maersk, and CMA CGM.
What's your reaction now that you've been on the job for just about a month?
The port has an outstanding team. Everybody here has been very welcoming, and I'm really appreciative of that.
What kind of responsibilities did you have before coming to Oakland?
Primarily operations and building maritime relationships with the West Coast port authorities, the terminal operators, the Class 1 railroads, and the drayage community, all in an effort to better serve our beneficial cargo owners.
What intrigued you about the Port of Oakland job?
It's really the people. I've worked with the Port of Oakland for years, and I've got a lot of respect for the industry stakeholders up here. I've seen labor, the terminal operators, the BCOs, and the community all working together to make the port a better place.
What opportunities do you see at the Oakland Seaport?
So Oakland has a lot of potential. We're on a path to be safer, more sustainable, and more productive. We still have significant growth potential, and I'm really excited to be part of it.
What's on the horizon for maritime at Oakland?
We have more than doubled our temperature-controlled cargo facilities with the Cool Port opening.
Can you tell us more about that?
Cool Port allows the transfer of perishable cargo from domestic trailers or rail cars into ocean containers. Yeah, no, it definitely provides hope for the future. Temperature-controlled facilities are in shortage all around the country, and having a facility so close to the terminals is a significant advantage. We have a new logistics center coming online later this year with Centerpoint Logistics. I think it's great news for the ports. It will most likely be used for a large BCO importing containers and deconsolidating them into the facility for the transport into the region and potentially across the country. And later on this year, we have some of the largest cranes on the West Coast arriving at one of our terminals.
Bryan, what are your priorities coming into this job?
So I have three initial priorities. First is for safety during the pandemic. Second is to reach out to all of our stakeholders to ensure we are aligned with their current and future needs. And third is to improve our efficiencies while driving to zero emissions for all seaport activities.
What's the pandemic's impact on maritime business at Oakland?
So the port is an essential service, so we're open. So all operations are operating as normal, while of course following safety protocols. Our volume is currently down, but not as dramatically as it could be.
We've had some blank sailings. What is a blank sailing?
So a blank sailing is when there's not enough cargo and an ocean carrier pulls a ship from its service. It's similar to an airline canceling a flight. We've had 6 blank sailings so far this year, and we do not expect it to be a trend for the rest of the year.
Some of the cargo volume has been actually increasing in both June and July. What's behind that?
So yes, volume has been up June and July compared to earlier this year, and it's really backfilling, all of the stock that the warehouses have been depleted on. A significant portion of that is also PPE.
So obviously vital cargo. What's your overall outlook for the business in 2020?
We've experienced a decline from 2019, decline of 6%, and we expect the remaining of the year to remain flat.
What's one of the positive aspects of the port that you think will support future business?
Yeah, it's really the people that will support the growth. The port has a strong network of productive relationships, and I see this as a key strength for our future success.
What trends do you see that will affect Port of Oakland business for our customers?
Those larger ships, they will continue to come. And of course, we're going to be ready. So all the terminals either have new cranes on order or plans to raise their current cranes. We will continue to maintain a water depth of 50 feet, and we will continue to work with all of our terminal operators to make sure that they remain fluid so they can handle the increased volume.
What can we expect regarding these bigger ships?
So early in 2016, Oakland saw her first 18,000 TEU vessel. Later on this year, we're going to see three 19,000 TEU vessels.
With these bigger ships, does it cause any kind of congestion, or is the Port of Oakland able to handle a lot of cargo at one time?
So the Port of Oakland is able to handle the volume coming in on these vessels. They don't dump the entire vessels here in Oakland, but so they are able to handle the increased volume that's coming in with these big ships.
What is the update on the Oakland A's proposed Howard Terminal ballpark?
Once the A's reach and obtain all of their regulatory approvals, then they will negotiate with the port for a final agreement.
What can you say to those who think that the ballpark may negatively impact maritime operations for now and the future?
I would not have taken this job if I would have thought that was the case. If the A's succeed in satisfying all their public requirements, then the port will work with the A's on a final agreement. And that agreement would be structured to protect all of our maritime activity and the thousands of jobs connected with the shipping industry through Oakland.
What's your overall message to the maritime community?
I'm really excited to be part of the Port of Oakland community. The port represents a significant part of history and growth with the city of Oakland, and I really want that legacy to continue. It'll take all of us together to really make that work, and I'm really looking forward to working with all of you.
Thank you, Bryan, for joining us today. You be well and safe.
Thank you, Marilyn, and you too.
Thank you.